Well, it's another beautiful day in Pennsylvania, and we are headed south to Cinnamahoning. Hopefully it'll be dry for us to start out.
I'll take that.
On the Bucktail Path. We start out climbing. Looks like we do most of our climbing right out of the gate. We are a little concerned about what the water situation is going to be, so we're both starting out with quite a bit. I got 3 liters of water with me, and how much you taken?
Just about 4.
Okay.
Just about 4 I have right now.
Yeah. So, you know, see how it goes. Well, folks, it looks like our first major and possibly our biggest climb of the whole trail is over. And I think we have come up about 1,200 feet. So when you start out at the south end, there's a super wide dirt road. Probably the last 500 feet or so are the most brutal and steadiest. But you end up on this dirt road. We've been on this road the whole time so far. Haven't really gotten into a proper woodland trail yet. Here comes Jeremy catching up with me. Clear sky so far, so still no rain yet. Might as well have rained because my shirt is completely soaked with sweat. I guess we'll get to a proper trail someplace back there, and we've been on this road the whole time so far. And also at the south end of the trail there, you could, you know, even though you end up just following the road, it'd be nice to have some blazing along there. There's very little blazing. So you go along for quite some time, and I start to feel uncomfortable. Like, did the trail turn off this road? Because I sure would like to know that I'm still on it. So I think some fresh blazing down there at the south end would be helpful. Well, Jeremy, are we at the top yet, you think?
We're close enough.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah. I could use one. I'm going to have to mix up some electrolytes because I'm going to have to replace some. Look, we got a little hitchhiker. How far are you going? Over here is some milkweed. It smells really good, this stuff here. And yeah, we got, looks like a bumblebee working on it there. Yeah, when the breezes blow through this stuff, it smells good. Got several breezes sitting up here. It's been nice, cool us off after that climb. Well, let's head farther north. What do you say? Let's do it.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. So we don't know how much longer we'll be on this road before we, you know, actually are like on a proper trail, but our first big climb is over with, and I guess we're planning to camp tonight near a fire tower, and there's supposed to be a water pump there.
So it goes this way.
Oh, look at that. We almost missed a turn. See, that's why I wanted blazing farther down there, because you know that can happen at any moment.
I was following you. Luckily, I looked over and saw this orange one here. At least I got one here.
Yeah, see, it's a good thing you spotted that. I don't see blazing that indicates we should turn. And I've been afraid of that the whole time, because you know that these trails often turn off of roads, and it could happen at any time. So whenever you're walking down a road for a good bit and there's no blaze, it makes you feel uncomfortable, because you're like, well, how long, you know, did I miss a turn and how far back? If I'd been alone, Jeremy, I'm quite sure I would not have. I'd have gone up that road for quite a while. So what we're heading into here is, you know, tall grasses and some soft spots. Not great. I don't know that this trail gets hiked a lot. I don't know if I've seen any videos of somebody through hiking the Bucktail Path. Kind of one of the lesser known ones, I guess. There's the next blaze. So this is very ferny right through here. There's a chance we're supposed to be over there, but let's see. Okay, I think that's a blaze right there. Yeah. Oh goodness, this is getting grown in. See, there's a blaze hiding right there. And this is the state forest boundary. So I guess that was all private property that we have gone through so far. Definitely feels like we're bushwhacking through here. Also feels like the trail should go that way, but maybe it goes that way. This looks like some old maintenance. Yeah, and there's a blaze there. Yeah, so this is some blowdown that was taken care of some years ago. We may be headed for a vista here. I'm seeing a valley up ahead of us, but I do not see the next blaze. So where is it? Right here, and then down there. Okay. But yeah, over to the left of us, you can see that we're on a ridge. There's opposite ridge and valley below. Well, I guess we'll get back to you a little bit later. Got some blueberries right here. They're a little underripe. They need a little more time, but there's one right here. I mean, it's going to get bigger and plumper, but still, it looks like it might be ready to eat. Let's give it a try. Yeah, I'd definitely give these more time. I'd say in the fall, be a good time to eat those. Out there we can see there's quite a valley. You see the ridges on the opposite side there. This would be quite a view if the trees weren't in the way. And again, the trail is kind of wild through here. And the blazing is, you know, a lot of it is faded. That blaze is kind of faded. So you really have to watch closely. All right, well, since you saw us last, we did a pretty steep descent down through an area that was really wild. I mean, lots of ferns, another jungle, lots of blowdowns. Then it was time to go back up. So we just did a super steep ascent here that lasted 10 or 15 minutes. And it looks like we're coming just about to the top of it. We're kind of running along a knife edge ridge, and there's a valley way down on this side, and also on that side. These breezes feel great. I guess we got storm rolling in about 2 o'clock, right? So a little under 3 hours from now. And then right up here, up along the trail, we notice this. Kind of interesting that that's right on the ground. And we may want to get out of here before Mama returns. On we go. Yeah, it's good that we're both out here because the trail can be a little hard to follow at times. You gotta watch out for possible turns. Most of the blazes are old and fading. There are not enough blazes, and the trail could definitely use some maintenance. But we're making the best of it. Got some bear scat right there. Well, here's a much less wild part. This is kind of pleasant.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
After fighting our way through another jungle section. So there's a blaze right there, but you're always watching for the possibility that the trail turns off the path. And the indications for that have been difficult to spot at times. So I think we have, what, 5 or 6 miles to camp?
Yeah, about
And
5.
we'll get there plenty early, and it'll be nice to get there, see what we got near that fire tower. Hopefully there's a nice view up there. Well, we just stopped for a lunch break, get a little refreshed. We've gone about 7 miles and there hasn't been a single water source. It's not like we saw dry streams or something like that. There's apparently just no water source on the southernmost part of the Bucktail Path. We're still walking along this really grassy, straight section here. You can see that this part has been mowed occasionally and cleaned up a bit because there's so many ferns to the sides that aren't in the middle here. We have been hearing some thunder up ahead of us. Felt a few raindrops as we were finishing up our lunch. And it looks like we're walking right into the storm right ahead of us. But we just got a few miles to go to camp. Might get there in the pouring rain. Who knows? At least it's been less hot today than I expected and less rainy. We thought we were going to have to start out in the rain. So we'll count our blessings. I forgot to mention also that that's a stretch of private property we were walking through there. We just exited, and we continue along this wide swath here, but it looks like we're coming up on, what is this, Pennsylvania Stonehenge or something? Okay, so there's a blaze on that tree right there. Then we come to Stonehenge. So let's do whatever rituals would be appropriate here, and celebrate summer and what have you. So it kind of looks like we just go straight on. Yeah, there's a blaze down there. So continuing along this wide swath here, and because it's so straight, I'm wondering if it's if there's a natural gas line, pipeline under here or something. Looks like we're gonna have to climb up there. No thank you. Rather not. Made it to the top of this little rise. Here comes Jeremy coming down from Stonehenge, and then he's gonna be coming up this rise, which is kind of a euphemism for it. In other words, super steep hill. But just at the bottom there was a stream bed, completely dry, but under better conditions. That is probably flowing, but still that would be your first water source along the Bucktail Path, something like 7 miles north of the southern terminus. We don't really know where our next water is going to be. I've used up about half of mine. I have about 1.5 liters remaining. Jeremy has a little more than that, I think. Thought it'd be cool to get you coming up from Stonehenge there.
Is that what that looks like?
Well, I don't know how much longer we have to walk along this swath here, but I'm sure it doesn't last forever, just like everything else in backpacking. Always got to remember, nothing lasts forever. So if you like it, savor it, and if you don't like it, it'll go away eventually. No umbrella on this trip. I have a rain jacket, but I'm not wearing it. The shirt was already soaked with sweat, so why not just let it get soaked with rain now? No biggie. And wet and cold is a bad combination, but it's not going to get cold. Well, now I see a double blaze here, which means we're finally going to turn off this wide swath here, which, like I said, nothing lasts forever, but I was beginning to wonder about this stretch. Can't say I was a big fan of that, just walking through tall grasses and stuff. Jeremy has lagged behind me quite a bit, so I think I'm going to wait here and make sure that he sees the turn there. I mean, I think it's pretty clear, but, just in case. Well, here I am at the cabin. It's, I guess, the old cabin associated with the fire tower there. The last climb up here was really rough. I kind of hit a wall and I had to stop one more time, and I was only like 0.1 mile away over, down the hill there, but I hadn't spotted the tower yet, and Jeremy was already here. I thought I've got to be close, but I had to stop one more time, and then I dragged my butt in here and set up the chair right away. Got out of my wet, sweaty clothes. So I've got shirt, socks, my handkerchief, the rain pants. They're all laying there. Sun was shining on this area more, so we'll try to move it around where we can maximize the sun. And look, old dude in shorts. That's something that you don't see very often, but I've got camp shoes and then my dry t-shirt, so feeling a lot better. And got a little coffee on that always helps sort me out. I was a little worried about the water situation because the 3 liters that I started with were very close to depleted, but fortunately there's a well pump up here, and we can get water from that so we can fully replenish. I'm still a little worried about the water situation tomorrow. We are going to be going down to a fairly low elevation because once we did our initial climb today, we stayed around 2,000 feet. So it's dry up here, but I think maybe tomorrow we'll be dipping down to maybe even around 700 feet. So hopefully there's some water down there. But right now it's coffee time, helping me to bounce back a little bit because I would say I've been here at least a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, and I've just now felt like opening my mouth to speak because I was wiped out. So, cheers. Time for a coffee break. The first one of the day.
It wears you out. That's pretty good. I'm done pumping.
Well, now it's a little after 8 o'clock, I think, and I'll tell you, I've been sitting in this chair most of the time, doing some chores here and there. I got the tent set up and so forth. The pack can just sit here underneath this porch, or on the porch tonight. That'll be cool. But as for Jeremy, he's leaving. He's leaving.
That's the plan.
Yeah, where are you going?
I haven't left yet.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna hike down to the road, and there's a vista supposedly on the map. I'm gonna hike to it. It shouldn't be that far of a bushwhack, so. And it looks like it's gonna be a beautiful view for the sunsets. Maybe.
Now I was invited. Okay, I was invited, but I don't have any more in me today, especially coming back up. The going down might be all right. It's gonna be about a half mile down, half mile back.
Did you get that on video?
Yeah. Oopsie. I don't have any more climbing in me today, so I'm gonna have to forego that. I mean, today was only 10 miles, but man, I found it brutal. We did a lot up and down. This first part of the trail, this first 10 miles out of the 34, I gotta tell you, for me, 2 thumbs down. So you have some road walking, and that's fine. That's a lot of trails have that. That's no big deal. But then there's that big grassy path that we went through forever with the tall grasses. That's not for me. I don't like that. Jungly areas where there were lots of blowdowns, and we had a steep descent and ascent. Another steep climb through a grassy patch. I mean, there was only, out of the 10 miles, there was only maybe 2 or 3 miles going through the woods on a nice trail that was well marked and so forth. The rest of it, I mean, no good. And so, I mean, I was really disappointed because the 2 miles of the trail that we have done already, that we still have to get to, where we camped that one time, was absolutely beautiful. And I was hoping for 34 miles of that, which you're not going to have all. Yeah, this is not going to be all. But yeah, it is coming, and we'll see. Maybe from here on, it's really nice. So while Jeremy's down there, I'm going to continue to get more drowsy probably, and about the time he gets back, I'll probably be ready to crash. I'm tired. I've been, after any bit of exertion, I've just been sighing. But I've been doing that since like 2 o'clock, so. All right, folks. It's about 9:30. It's time to call it a night. It's going to be very windy tonight, so kind of looking forward to listening to the wind and the flapping of my tent. Should be very relaxing. We'll see you in the morning. I don't know if I fully showed you around this camp, but got the picnic table, Bucktail Path sign, orange blaze, fire tower, which I guess you're not allowed to climb. Doesn't really matter to me because I don't climb fire towers, but got barbed wire on the top of the fence. But some of the fire towers, you know, they look rickety, and some of them are wooden and they look like they're rotting and everything. But that one looks really good, you know. That looks like it's in great shape. It doesn't look like it'd be dangerous to climb at all, so it's kind of a bummer that they have prevented that. There's a trash can over here, which, I mean, I don't know if there really ought to be a trash can at a spot like this. You can see that people use it, the lid is off, and there's trash on the outside and so forth. And you can see people have been having backpacking meals, but it doesn't look like anybody tends to this trash, so that's kind of disappointing. But this cabin is kind of cool. Looks like it's in decent enough shape, and it's furnished on the inside, I think. So I don't know if it's just, you know, discontinued or if it's actually used sometimes. If it's leased property that belongs to a hunting club, for example, they may use it sometimes. Oh, I almost forgot, there's another thing to mention about this place. Around in the back is this water pump right here, which works, but you really have to crank that handle for quite a while, and then eventually water will come. Now, if Jeremy hadn't been here with me, if I were doing this trail alone and I was counting on this, I'd have had a real problem, because I tried, you know, pumping that thing and the water wouldn't come. I don't know if I wasn't pumping it hard enough or fast enough or found the right technique, but Jeremy could get the water to come, but with a lot of effort, but I couldn't do it. And also, if just one person, I mean, I've got my flask, but there's no way I can hold it with one hand and work that lever with the other arm. I just wouldn't have been able to do that. So without him here, I don't think I'd have been able to get water. I would have had to make a phone call and say, you gotta come get me. So if you're just one person and you're going to be doing this and camping here, that's something to think about. And what else? Oh yeah, there's another trash can here on this porch, and it says ashes only here, but people have put trash in there. So, again, kind of disappointing. I don't know if anybody from the forest, you know, checks on this place, maintains it, takes away that trash. Seems to me there shouldn't be an ordinary trash can here anyway. There needs to be a bear box, if anything, or just nothing. Because, of course, the backpacker way is you got your own trash bag and you take your stuff with you. So, of course, Jeremy and I are both doing that. Well, Jeremy's been at the pump, filled up his bag here and also my flask. You can see flowing pretty well just from gravity. And then you can help it along by pushing on the top here.
It was locked down. Push it down. I pulled this chain up.
Yeah.
That's how it was when I found it.
Put the chain on there. It says remove cap before pumping. We didn't see any cap, but or we would put it back on. The picture shows a bucket sitting underneath there. Now that's what's needed for sure, especially if you're here alone. You need something to catch that water, but there's no bucket around. There probably was a bucket at one time, and rather than thinking the worst that somebody took it, maybe it blew away during a really windy night. The bucket might have fallen on the ground and just blown to who knows where. So, but yeah, bucket would definitely be helpful there. All right, it's about 9:45, I think. So, getting kind of a late start, but should be all right. So we head down into those ferns. There's our first blaze of the morning. Ready?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it. I'd like to believe this is going to get less ferny as we move north this morning. I did notice the blazing is better in the last couple of miles or so. These blazes look fresher. There at the beginning, lots of old ones, faded ones, half peeled off. Definitely needs updated and needs to be more frequent. That end of the trail too. Temperatures in the mid 60s. Little breeze, feels great. Not a drop of sweat on me yet. I'd love it if it stayed that way all day. Nice dry shirt, dry socks. It's glorious. Hi, I guess this would be our first stream of the day if it weren't dry as could be. Jeremy's back there somewhere. He'll catch up to me. This is a really pretty area right here. Looks like the trail's gonna go back up into some ferns. Ferns everywhere. So when you see an area overgrown with ferns, what has caused that to happen is deer being overpopulous at one time here and eating all of the saplings and all the other plants that would otherwise grow along the ground here, making way for the ferns to take over because the deer don't eat ferns. So once the deer have cleared out the other stuff, then the ferns take over, and that means not only can the deer not graze here anymore, but other animals, rabbits and squirrels and chipmunks and so forth, they've got nothing to eat here either. So that's one reason to try to manage and control the deer population so that the not only the plant life but the animal life can be more diverse. Once an area is overgrown with ferns, I'm not sure what you would do to to try to bring that area back. Let's see. Now that blaze is going the other direction. So we got a double blaze here, which I think would indicate we need to go up this way. But where is our next blaze in this direction? If I can't find it, then I'll be waiting here for Jeremy so that we can figure it out together. I think I hear his voice. He'd be talking to you all. You have to hop over to his channel to see what he's saying. All right, Jeremy has rejoined me. Turns out up there where that double blaze is, I thought we were going to have to go uphill more into the ferns. While I was waiting for Jeremy, I saw the blaze on the other side of this tree here. It actually makes a sharp turn, comes down here. And notice, there's water down here. So that right there is the little feeder stream that we just crossed. It comes down here, flows into Brooks Run. But since there is water and it is possible to, to collect some here, I'm going to go ahead and top off. I'm not taking any chances, you know what I mean? No telling how much farther we'll have to go to find some water. Look, here's a nice big old strip of birch bark, which makes excellent fire starter. When I see this, I usually grab some. And I found some yesterday, so I've already got a strip that's about half this size here. So if we have a fire tonight, we're set in that regard. Okay, Jeremy has gone up ahead of me, but he said that there is a nice camp here. So we're still, pretty much in the same spot here, and this is Brooks Run coming in. And I guess maybe there's a campsite down here. Here's your water source, and like I keep mentioning, it's very dry conditions right now, but there is some water there. It's not flowing great, but you can collect from right here, for example. Oh, here we go. There's a fire ring right there. And here's some firewood, last person left. It looks like it's been a while, but okay, this is about 1.5 miles north of the fire tower. So this could be another option. if you want to go about 11.5 miles from the south end. And it looks like this would be your very first water source in present conditions, except for, at the fire tower. And then if you can't get that water pumped by yourself and collect what comes out, because there's no bucket there, then you have this option about 1.5 miles down. If you insist on doing this awful trail, it's bound to get better, right? There have been far too many sections of the trail that are like this. Ferns waist high, maybe hitting your elbows. Ferns just filling this whole valley. But at least the blazing has been pretty good today compared to yesterday. And you certainly need it in an area like this. Basically going from blaze to blaze. Can't always see where the trail is at all. All right, folks, I'll check in with you here. Even though I am sweaty, tired, sore, last thing I feel like doing is recording. But I'll let you know what's going on. It's 4 o'clock. When we come to that camp that we stayed at before, the stream will be on our left. I hope it's not far. We'll see what the water looks like and discuss whether we want to stay there tonight or maybe go a little farther. So it's now about 5:30. I checked in with you last at 4 o'clock. At 4:15, I came to a road that I didn't know I was going to cross, a gravel road, and I said, okay, I got to take a break. So I sat there, I had some tuna, I mixed up some Element electrolyte mix, and I stayed there for about 40 minutes until I felt better. Continued on. Oh yeah, we got water. Looking good. So continued on and then came to a couple of hunting camps, past them, crossed another gravel road. Ooh, gotta get across this little chasm here. Ooh. Wow. The ferns are kind of covering that up, and if you didn't see it, oh, could be pretty treacherous. Okay, but somewhere down here should be the camp we're looking for, and Jeremy should be waiting for me there. See, there's another one of those. Yikes. Watch your step. Look at this right here. Now, it's too late for mountain laurel to bloom, and that doesn't look like mountain laurel. I mean, does it? The leaves don't look quite right. Nor does it look like a rhododendron. But is it? Is it maybe a rhododendron? Are those things white when they first bloom? Huh. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty. I mean, it looks like they're gonna become, kind of the rose, the pink color that I would normally associate with rhododendron. This area here, it looks like one could camp here. You could make it work, Definitely put a tent right there. And plenty of spaces for tents over there. Hey! Well, I took a 40-minute break. Is that our campsite from before, or is that a different one? Yeah, this is different. This is not the same one. You been having fun here? Yeah. This isn't the same campsite. This is a different one.
It is not. I totally miscalculated. This is still 14 miles. There was like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was nothing between the last time I saw you.
Yep. Well, we got water, and I see you're dipping your feet in there. That's not a bad idea. What are you thinking? I mean, did you want to press on to the one we stayed at last time?
Not really.
Okay. How far have we gone today?
That's going to make it 14. That
Really?
about
We've gone
14.
14.
So we have a little over 10 to get out.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm good with that. Yeah, let's do it.
35:30.
Let's do it.
Hi. Trying the air mattress in the hammock for the second night.
You said you could have used another underquilt or something?
I rather would have took my regular underquilt
Yeah.
and just forget about trying to save the ounces. It's a little awkward trying to use this.
Dry shirt on, some dry shorts. Got out of my wet socks and shoes. Got my camp shoes on, so whew. Soaked my feet in the stream over there. Oh, felt so good. Well, this is the part of the morning where we take our chair and cup of coffee and face Hunt's Run. Sit here and check out the stream and pretend that there are not vehicles going by on the road behind us. You'd probably like to have a shot of me sitting out on that rock sipping my coffee or something like that, which has a certain wilderness romance to it, but that rock was not designed for human buttocks. This chair was, so. So it looks like this morning's first 2 or 3 or 4 miles will be fairly flat, and walking along Hunt's Run and then McNuff Branch. When we get up to the Chicago Springs Trail, it may be that the Bucktail Path will sort of diverge from McNuff Branch, so our plan was to make sure we fill up all our water at that point, because we have no idea what to expect after that and what we're heading into. That may be the last time we see water, till we get back to the Silver Streak, which is waiting for us at the north end of the trail. How'd you sleep?
I slept good last night. Way better than the night before.
Excellent.
The stream was nice quiet forest here.
Yeah. I mentioned the cars going by on the road, but I didn't really hear any last night.
Yeah, they didn't start till this morning.
There have been 5 or 6 going by this morning between 7 and 8 o'clock. But yeah, at night, overnight, you don't really have traffic there because it is a forest road, right? I think it's a forest road. It's not like it's a state highway or something. Having a little peanut butter as part of my breakfast this morning. I reuse this peanut butter jar and fill it from bigger jars. You can see I've got the good stuff too. That's the natural stuff. No sugar in there. I don't know why they put sugar in peanut butter anyway. It doesn't need it. Why in the world would you want sugar in peanut butter? But anyway, relaxation time is drawing to a close. I'll have to get busy here pretty soon. Mixed up some orange element. Gonna get some electrolytes in me right away this morning, even before I start hiking. Well, Jeremy is ready to go. And I'm getting close. Just a few more things to pack here. Flask is full, but I do have 2 empty pint bottles in the pack. We don't need to maximize the water weight getting started here. We'll do that later. All right, canister, stove and cook pot, trusty Armor All cloth, and then the blanket. I always do the blanket last because it seems to minimize the space that the blanket takes up. I can stuff it into the, whatever pockets of space there are. Whatever I can't seem to stuff, I just bunch it up on the top and good to go. Gonna be hiking in shorts today, which is something I pretty much never do, but because of the heat, the rain pants, they can be kind of warm, and my jeans, they're still soaked with sweat around the top, so they'll be uncomfortable. So I really don't like to do that. I don't like to have bare legs because I don't know what kind of plants I'm going to be brushing up against. So I guess if I end up with poison ivy, that's the way it goes. Poison ivy is something you can kind of deal with. It just goes away in a couple of weeks. You just have to suffer through it. But other kinds of plant dermatitis, I don't really know what I might be getting into. But hopefully we just won't have any incidents. Might have to walk through some tall ferns again and just have those brushing all over my legs. I don't think those will do any harm. All right, off we go. Day 3. And look, I get some ferns right away against my bare legs. Oh, it looks like there's a campsite right here too. This section of the trail, maintained by the Keystone Trail Association's all-volunteer trail crew. And the section that it's referring to, that we just came through, is in pretty good shape compared to like the southern part of the trail. So thank you, Keystone Trails Association. But yeah, look, campsite right here next to the bridge. So yeah, we could have camped right here. Oh, and we would have had plenty of firewood that somebody left. We had to gather all of our own, but that's fine. It looks like some bee balm growing down there. Those red flowers. So let's see. There's the fire tower, the one site we found, the one we just camped at, and this one, that's 4 so far along here. We do know of a 5th one that we'll point out when we pass it, but these 2 are very close together. This looks like it's probably a beaver pond, which probably means that we're getting close to the area where we camped back in March. The trail is starting to kind of take on the qualities of that section, except for the thick ferny areas here. But this hasn't been constant. I guess most of the time it's been like this, and a lot thicker. But maybe up ahead here we'll come to a part where it's smoother sailing. This is very beautiful and serene. And if you're looking for solitude, this is probably a good trail for you. You'll get it out here. You may not see anybody else the whole time. And we've come to a couple of muddy spots too. Here's one. There's a rock right. No, that's not a rock. It looked okay. There's a rock I could step on. So let's get the left foot onto that rock. And then some sticks. There we go. Now head back into some ferns. Well, I managed to totally miss that campsite where we camped before. I don't know how, unless there's just so much more overgrowth since March, which of course there is, but I mean, still I should have seen that big rock table right beside the trail and the fire pit, which is really big. So I don't know how I missed it. I was ahead of Jeremy at the time. He saw it when he came behind me. So break time, we've reached the Chicago Springs Trail. We're actually sitting on the Chicago Springs Trail. We came across there. The Bucktail Path is up there on top. We're going to continue north, and we're going to fill up all our water there before we do that because, you know, we don't know what kind of access we'll have to the stream farther up because it looks like we go up the side of the hill there. So, we'll coffee break, and I guess we'll continue on. We figure we've gone about a fourth of the way, right? Probably. So, you know, that we have to cover today.
Today's going to be easy.
You think?
Easy. Oh, yeah.
Going to be easy. Okay. Back on the Bucktail Path. We just took the Chicago Springs Trail just across the stream there for our little break. We want to start into uncharted territory going north here on the Bucktail Path. And since we're above the stream and we really don't know when we'll have access to it again, if at all, or if there will be other water ahead, so we have filled up on water. Jeremy's gone up ahead of me. Now, when we did our trip in March, we were over there on the other side of the stream. Jeremy went out onto this rock right here. He went out on that rock and sat. But this area here wasn't covered with ferns, so that's where we sat and took a break before. And then it started hailing on us while we were sitting there for a few minutes. We didn't see the stream from this vantage point. It's very pretty. All right, moving on. So those are still the waters of McNuff Branch down there. So that looks like another beaver pond. But we are, you know, on the hillside above, so can't access the water at this point. And again, we weren't sure that we'd ever be able to access water again, so this section has still been fairly flat, so I've been thankful. I hope we don't have to do too much climbing today, but I imagine there's at least one fairly major climb in our future. Well, just like on day 1 and day 2, I am drenched with sweat. But a little bit cooler since I have the shorts on, I guess. So, break time. I'm parked right in the trail, right on the trail. But don't worry, there is no chance that I'm going to be in someone's way. Nobody's coming. Jeremy's ahead of me. And I don't really want to cook anything, but I think I'm going to do this deli-style tuna salad. The sandwich in the picture, that looks fantastic. I would love to eat that. But we will just approximate with a tortilla and some mayonnaise. right, let's wrap it up. Tuna burrito. If you close your eyes and use your imagination, you can almost taste that lettuce and tomato and your favorite kind of bread. Oh boy, stinging nettle. Well, it's another reason I don't want to wear shorts. And my calves are stinging right now. And I guess they get to sting some more. It's hard to avoid all of this. Going down a pretty wide logging road here. Back a little ways, we crossed a drivable gravel road. And that's where I found Jeremy taking a little break. And I said, well, I think I'm going to mosey on ahead because I'm sure you're going to catch up with me. Yeah, so we have the patch of stinging nettle back there. I don't see too much more of it up here, but the sting goes away after a few minutes, and I don't think it leaves a rash or otherwise, damages your skin. I don't know. It may depend on the person. But anyway, knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Well, this is absurd and not pleasant. So when we turned off that logging road, then you head into this section. Very overgrown, pretty rough. So I guess my legs have come into contact with just about every kind of plant the forest has to offer. I'm just hoping that I didn't get a good dose of poison ivy somewhere along the way. Jeremy and I are planning to take showers at Elk State Park when we finish. So washing my legs really good will help. Of course, once the oils of the poison ivy plant are on there, unless you wash them off right away, some of them are going to be kind of absorbed, and then you'll get the rash. So time will tell. But here's a completely dry stream beside us. And okay, the next blaze is down there. So it's hard to tell what the trail does exactly. I guess we can, why don't we take the stream bed up to that point? That will be a little bit better. Now we got to get over there. Try to get it around the blowdown over here. Actually, this might be the trail right here. Okay. Always on the lookout for that next blaze. Kind of looks like the trail is supposed to cross again, here-ish, maybe. Or maybe not. Oh, maybe it crosses here. While we're trying to figure it out, let's just admire this bee balm. Okay, a little bit of a stream right here. Now, which side of it are we supposed to be on? I kind of suspect maybe we go up there, possibly even up here. Are there blazes up here? Let's see. Well, we may have to wait here for Jeremy because if we can't figure out which way to go, we may have the same trouble here. Last we knew, we were supposed to be over here-ish. And we think that the trail comes right like this. So we've got a blowdown in the way. The trail might continue over there, but either way, I think I'm going to wait for Jeremy here and see what he thinks. So I've mentioned to you before that one of the things that I keep in my tortilla bag here is Benadryl. There we go. And the reason I have that is for occasions like this right here. So if you see on my knee here, which is red from being all scraped up, and there are lots of scrapes down here too, but there are also some bumps here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe some I can't see yet, but I don't know what that is, but it's probably from some plant I came into contact with. So just in case that's an allergic reaction that's going to get much worse fast, I'm going to go ahead and pop a Benadryl to try to remedy that as much as possible until I get off the trail and can give it whatever attention it might need at that time. I think I hear someone coming. Who's that crackling through there?
Please tell me there's refuge somewhere.
Well, I mean, you could sit here in the stream with me, but I can't figure out where the trail goes from this point here.
This is horrible.
It is horrible.
This is so bad. How'd you get there?
Well, come straight toward me. The trail, you're off the trail a little bit. You can see a blaze back that way.
Oh my gosh. You did this in shorts.
Yeah, and when you get over here, I'll show you the result. Well, see, I couldn't figure out how to get over to that point. Do you see blazes in that direction? Looking to your left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's some of the worst I've ever been through.
It's bad.
Anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather go through a lot more things than that. Holy moly. You can't really stop through it. You gotta like find a place.
Yeah. Well, after going through that horrible jungly section, we eventually came up out of that mess. We were on a somewhat narrow logging road, then eventually ended up on a big wide logging road like this one, which we've been following for quite a while, and it has switched back 2 or 3 times. Jeremy's up ahead of me now, but you know, I stopped. I had to take a 10-minute break or so, drink some water, and at that time he said that we just had 4 miles to go. So now it would be about 3.5 or less. Lots of bee balm growing right here. And we're coming to a footbridge. The logging road got more and more jungly. And now we come to this footbridge and then up the slope there. And Jeremy is waiting for us up on the gravel road. So I think maybe that is Crooked Run Road, and we're going to have to follow it for a stretch. I think this is Crooked Run Road. I think when we turn off of it, we'll probably have a bit of a climb before we do our final descent.
Yep, you're right. Crooked Run Road.
Oh, look at this. I've got, you know, stuff from plants stuck to my socks. Just very dirty. And then my legs are all scraped up. And I'm worried about, you know, whatever plant oils are there. I'm hoping that once we leave the road, the last part of the trail won't be as bad as far as all the plants and so forth, but I don't know.
Doubt it.
But Jeremy has got something here called Wilderness Wash. So you want to talk about how this works?
Oh, it's a all-around wash. You can use it for dishes, your laundry, your hair, your body.
Yeah.
It has no scent to it. You just dilute it with a little bit of water.
Okay. So
Well, a little bit goes a long way, I should say.
So the idea is I want to wash off the various plant oils that are on there that might end up giving me a rash or whatever. So, A little dab there, plus some water. And here we go. Do the same on the other leg. So we'll try that. See how it goes. Thank you.
Oh, anytime. All right, see you at the bottom, John.
All right. There's Jeremy heading down the road, which the trail follows for a little while, and then it cuts off to the right. This is Crooked Run Road, and you can also take it down into Sizersville State Park. And then when you enter the park, you can take the park road beside the office and keep on going out. And it comes out into the Elk State Forest, and then the north end of the trail is there. So I'm going to take that route and then meet Jeremy there. I'm not going to complete the very last part of the trail because, you know, I've had enough. I felt a little nauseous and almost threw up a minute ago. I'm just beat. Seems I get this way toward the end of a trail sometimes. You know, the heat has kicked my butt on this one. Overall, it's been a grueling trail. Not that pleasant. There aren't any vistas. You know, there's not a whole lot to see except some beaver ponds that are kind of cool and a couple of pretty streams when they're flowing. Maybe we're just the only ones foolish enough to do this trail in the summer. Maybe it's much better in the other seasons. Maybe you do it in the fall, you get lots of fall colors, and so you have that, because you're certainly in the forest pretty much all the time. Well, I'm going to snack on something, and then I'm just heading down the road. Oh, wow. Is this where the trail finally turns off? I thought it must have turned off a long time ago, because I'll tell you, they don't have a lot of blazes along here on this road part. Maybe this is not the Bucktail Path, but rather a snowmobile trail. And it ought to be a shortcut into the park, but I think I'm going to take the road anyway, just because I know where that goes, and I don't know where that trail might come out. Yeah, I didn't see blazes for a long time, and I thought, trail must have turned off, and I assumed Jeremy found it. If the theory is that when you have a road walk on a trail, there's no need for a lot of blazing as much as you would otherwise, because you just go straight. You know, it's just like it should be understood, just follow the road. But the problem is that, let's say it follows the road for 2 miles or something, and you've been walking along for a mile of that stretch and haven't seen any blaze. For all you know, you could have gone a mile farther than where you were supposed to, and you missed the turn. Oh, hello. You didn't expect me to find me freshly showered next time you saw me, huh? Jeremy is too. Well, since I saw you last, I had the idea to stash my pack along the road and then just take a few essentials, like the car key, and just continue down the road without all that weight. And that turned out fine. Jeremy made it back to the trailhead, I guess, just a couple of minutes before I did.
Yep.
How was the trail? How was that route?
It was a pretty steep climb going up, but then coming down, it was nicely mowed. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice cruise coming back down in. I wish the whole trail was like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was afraid there'd be a climb there, so I just... It was
a nice climb.
Yeah, I didn't have it in me. But so we can call this a continuous footpath for me from the south trailhead to the north trailhead. I walked all the way. I just skipped the last part of the trail. But a true through hike for Jeremy. So yeah, we both had showers there at the state park. And then we were going to head down the road here and get something to eat. My stomach is still feeling really touchy. I actually did throw up at one point. You know, I feel like I have an appetite, but I don't trust myself to eat yet. So that's the way it goes. I think this is a form of heat exhaustion. The heat was just too much for me on this trip, just too much sweating and overheating and overexertion and so forth, but live and learn. It was a tough trail though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tough at times, very tough at times.
It's a tough trail, but we conquered it, or I almost did. He did. And I guess we're going to leave it here.
It's in the books, yeah.
It's in the books.
I don't know if we'll be
Bucktail
back.
Path.
I don't know if we'll be back though.
I don't think I will be. Yeah. So you can take your chances on it. Probably shouldn't do it in the middle of summer like we did. That's probably a bad idea. But maybe some other time of year it's nice. If you've done it before and you enjoyed it, let us know. Okay, well, we're gonna say goodbye here, so we'll see you on the next adventure.